Hey everybody, welcome to Invisible Jiu-Jitsu. Lucas helping out again. Does it feel weird when you do a Jiu-Jitsu instruction and you don't call people guys at the beginning? Someone complained the other day that I don't use people who are taller and heavier than me in my demonstrations. So the demonstration doesn't look, it looks too clean. Lucas is heavier than me, but I'm 6'4". There's no one in my gym that's taller than me anymore, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to make do. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a Brabo choke today, 3 variations. We'll talk a little bit about how the technique looks clean sometimes and doesn't look clean. So when I do a Brabo on Lucas, it doesn't look clean, okay? And you're gonna see why. So 3 variations of my Brabo, okay? I'll run through quick and then we'll talk about it. So I'm gonna open here, I'm gonna break Lucas down, hold, maybe I hold my own gi, open all the way, and I'm gonna pass and feed. Now he can't get away, I feed my arm through, boom, this is my Brabo grip. Finish number 1 is to come here, okay? Looks reasonably clean. Finish number 2 is to come through. Easier said than done when he's wearing a rash guard. And finish here. Finish number 3 is he pushes. And we finish something like this. So, with Lucas, because he has such broad shoulders, not much of a neck, sometimes when I do, especially the first finish, it doesn't look clean. And when that second hand comes in, the forearm isn't across his neck, it's more across his head. And we'll talk about how that's not gonna stop our choke. The first hand is in deep, we're good to go. So, when we start here, if this gi is out already, it's a bonus. Everything's much easier. If it's in, what I'll do is I'll start taking it out, but if I leave my guard closed, I'm just pulling into my own thigh. My thigh clamps his gi against his body. So what I'm going to do is just, as I pull, is just quickly open. And I don't want to spend ages like this, messing around. So I just open and pull. Once it's out to a degree, then I look to start breaking him down. Okay, and there's loads of ways we can break by swimming. We can start pushing and sitting up, clamping. Okay, but once I've got him down, I want to keep him down. So what I'm going to do is, once he's down, clamp the head. Okay, now I'm not wearing a gi just so my arm is a different color from Lucas. If I was wearing a gi, I would hold my own lapel here, so if he tries to go up, I go with him. Okay, once I get here, I then start opening even more. If it's in at the back, I can even pull the gi out of his belt. And then very crucially here, I take the gi in this direction all out, and then I pass. Okay, nice and tight here. Don't hold at the end. If he postures up now, he goes too far away from me. So what I want is a nice tight pass here. And then later, I will slide my grip as I transfer. So now he tries to posture, he doesn't get very far away from me. My hand punches through. And do you see how my shoulder will dip in this direction to allow that punch? I want to hold right behind his neck. Okay? So as I punch, I pass. And I have a very deep grip. So even when I pull now, my wrist stays in his neck. I don't want such a shallow grip that my hand and my wrist fall down here where I'm not going to choke anything. So once I'm here, my first finish usually is to put the foot on the hip, angle like I'm hitting an armbar, and bring this to me. Now we talk about clean. Do you see how it's brought Lucas's big arm in the way? So that when I grip, I now have my forearm in Lucas's nose and cheek. But if I pull, he will still tap. If this arm disappears over here, you'll see it becomes much more clean. And I get 2 forearms on the neck, okay? But a lot of the time that won't happen. But if my choking arm is in deep, we're good, everything's gravy. So That's number one. Number two used to be number one. So number two, I feed, and now he knows this is coming, so that I just slide underneath, look, and fingers in here. And then it's elbows down to my ribs, yeah, not flaring, takes the pressure away, elbows down and sitting up. And I call that number two that used to be number one, because when I first learned the cross choke, the regular cross choke, which is just all this is a variation of, that used to be the number one. And then everyone got used to that hand coming in here, so they had to go over the top to the shoulder. And then going to the shoulder became so popular that that's the first one that people learned. So it's kind of trends in Jiu-Jitsu has dictated which one is the first attack and which becomes the sneaky second attack. Okay, so the palm up, so palm up became our sneaky second attack. When you know, if you watch the old school Gracie stuff, that's like your first one. And then number three, he knows I'm going to try number two, and I need that angle and lat pull. So he's going to block my elbow to stop that pull. So that when I get to here, look, I open, take all the slack out and pass, feed the hand, boom. And he knows, look, I'm going to get this if he doesn't do anything. So he'll start blocking this arm here and trying to stop my pull. Okay, if you just relax a second. Even if I got all of my grip here and he pushes on this elbow, he can stop me from pulling. Okay, he can stop me from putting the choke on. So what I'm going to do instead is as he goes to push, I'm going to go to his elbow and I'm going to flare and bring it to me. And now I angle and I get my body behind his tricep. And now he can't pull out. And I finish one-handed with my lat pull. So that's the Brabo choke. The mechanics are exactly the same as your arm triangle Brabo choke, also known as the Dars choke, also known as triangular Jimon, also known as something else. Okay, so the mechanics are exactly the same. So those are my three finishes. I usually try them in that order, but there's nothing to stop me from going straight to number three, or straight to number one, or number two. Doesn't matter. Okay? So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the fact I had a heavy guy, and it didn't look clean. You know, that's real life, that's real jiu-jitsu. It doesn't always look clean. If I choke him across the face with the second arm, it's not important. All that second arm is doing is stopping him from moving with the choke and taking the pressure away. So if you like the video, subscribe. We're almost at 7,000. Thanks guys.